am making almost eye contact with you during a podcast. It took 250 episodes for us to get here.
And this is what we're going to do from now on, right?
No.
I have to say I've been kind of used to podcasting in my pajamas. So
yeah, it took us like 40 bajillion days to coordinate when we could both get daylight and our faces on. So, listeners, you are now viewers. Welcome to the Paleo View, episode 250. And for those of you still listening in your car, welcome to you as well.
So, do people know our faces? Should we like actually introduce ourselves?
Yeah, I think they probably know our faces.
I'm Sarah. So all of you guys who are used to listening to Nerd Town, that's me.
They see our faces on the front of the...
But maybe they don't know who's who. We don't. It's not like we have little name tags on,
That's true. That's true. So obviously I'm Stacy, which is leftover from if I'm not Sarah.
Default, not leftover.
So I do have confirmation from the podcast producer who knows how to count that this is actually episode 250.
So at some point, maybe we'll need another 250 episodes, but at some point we will be able to figure out how to keep track of what number what episode is.
Maybe. I think maybe it just got too high. Like for a while we were able to keep track, and then it just all ran together. Yeah, like
when it was 23.
Yeah.
It was probably the last time we were able to be like, and welcome to episode 23 of the Paleo View podcast.
Yes.
Well, welcome everyone to episode 250.
It's almost 5 years of podcasting. And we've both been doing paleo a really long time, but this marks like, for sure, 5 years committed as a business, so to speak, because here we are podcasting, sharing, inspiring, all that kind of stuff, which wouldn't have started if we hadn't been so passionate to begin with. So it's a really long time for us. I know last week we talked about how Paleo FX was going and rebranding a little differently. We've been the Paleo View for a really long time, and that's not something that we've talked about changing.
Nope.
And I think that, you know, for us, it's always encompassed much more than just paleo. We've talked about parenting. We've interviewed people who, you know, walk all different kinds of life and talk about our own lives. And Sarah and I are both so much more than just being paleo. So I think it's been an interesting journey for sure. I thought it might be fun to talk about what we remember most of podcasting. I mean, we've had episodes before where we've been like, Michelle Tam saying badness was one of like our favorite moments on the show. We've done favorite moments on the show, but I think...
How about the first time we had Mark Sisson on and I couldn't help but girlfriend?
Totally. But I think more than that, what's been really interesting about podcasting, and you and I have talked about this, especially when we went on book tour together, is that meeting people who listen to the podcast is like meeting a friend that you've had for years. And we don't know that we have that friend until we meet our podcast listeners. And it's this special bond and this special relationship that in everything that I've ever done in my life, I've never had something like that, where I could meet a stranger for the first time, and yet we have so much in common, not just because they listen to me, but because if they're listening and if they're participating, it's because they are connected in one way or another, which means I also have things in common with them. So it's such a special and unique experience to have done this.
I almost feel like I meet a podcast listener. I don't have to explain myself. If someone will say, well, listen to the podcast, I'm like, oh, great. You already know me. I don't need to explain.
Yeah. Oh, just like you said on blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah.
Good. We're great. We're on the same page right from the very beginning.
You're reading my mind. Yep.
Yeah, I just had that experience at Paleo FX, and I think I met more Paleo View listeners this past Paleo FX than I have at any other conference. Like maybe book signings where we've gone together, that's been the other place where we've met like a really large percentage of those people are listeners. But Paleo FX, I had so many people stop me to say, hey, I listen to the podcast, love the podcast, miss Stacy. Like it was like the icebreaker almost, like, and to me, it's like, yeah, it's exactly, I think what you just said is like, I know I'm meeting my people, right? I know this is these are going to be people I'm going to.
It's my safe zone. It's my bubble.
It's it's my own personal little bubble. It's my safe space. And it actually gives me confidence to jump in and be myself rather than feel like I have to be the more formal, I'm a paleo thought leader, talking head person. I'm like, oh no, okay, I can just be a nerd and kind of snarky, because I'm a little bit of a snarky nerd, and I can just jump right into that. And it's a really nice community that we've been able to build that we almost never get to interact with. But when I'm in those situations where I get to actually meet those people, it's such a lovely. We really should figure out how to tour the country and do live shows all over the place just so we could hold our listeners.
That's not actually something you should throw out because people will expect it.
But they'll be like, yeah, let's do it.
They're like, you said on 250.
Maybe for episode 500.
Maybe.
We can do a tour.
We thought what would be fun is to share some other listeners' perspectives on the podcast as well, because as hosts we have a much different perspective than the listeners or the guests. So we present to you many of our favorite people or people that were just available who also happen to love
people who I may or may not have put on the spot in person at Paleo FX,
and people who we may have hunted down on the internet while you were at Paleo FX,
right?
To give us some feedback and their thoughts on the podcast. And I think it will make you feel that sense of community that Sarah and I feel from the podcast, because these are your people. This is your bubble. We all have stuff in common. So we hope that you enjoy what we've been able to put together, and we'll come back at the end of the show and recap again for you. But thank you so much, listeners and now viewers, for sticking with us for 5 years. We know that sometimes things were fantastic and hilarious, and sometimes things were kind of at a low point, and I think that represents the approach that Sarah and I both take with, honesty and being open, and our commitment to having the show once a week. I mean, sometimes things are just busy and crazy, or we're sick, and you're going to hear about those things rather than, having a, backlog of shows that aren't time sensitive, or we could just reel them out and pretend to be robots. Not that that's what other people do, but that's what I would feel like if we were doing that. So we appreciate you being there for us, thick and thin, and we hope that you enjoy this episode.
Hi, it's Matt, Stacy's husband, producer of the Paleo View, and we're going to have a bunch of clips that play here from various people saying how much they enjoy the Paleo View and congratulating Stacy and Sarah. And I was volunteered to give a little bit of an introduction to each clip. So this first clip is from Rob Wolf, a godfather of paleo, from robwolf.com. He was on episode 243 of the Paleo View talking about his new book, Wired to Eat. And here was what he has.
Hey there, just wanted to say congratulations from the Lazy Lobo Ranch. Congrats on episode 250 of the Paleo View podcast. That is amazing. We are super excited for you guys. That's a huge accomplishment. Sagan, do you want to say congratulations?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay, you guys take care, and looking forward to another 250.
Next up is Michelle Tam of Nom Nom Paleo, nomnompaleo.com, and the book Food for Humans. She was on episode 14 of the Paleo View about food prep, and she coined a favorite phrase of the show, the badness, to describe all the bad things that happen to your food when it goes bad.
Congratulations, you guys. I can't believe it's been 250 episodes of the Paleo View. That is amazing. So congrats to you, Sarah, and Stacy, and Matt, because I know all three of you guys work really, really hard every week to make sure there's an episode every week, which is amazing, because Henry and I tried to do a podcast, and we could only get out 18 before we put it on indefinite hiatus. So I bow down to you guys. I love that every episode has really, really great information. You guys make me laugh. I learn something. I learn what the cool new hashtags are. So thank you. I take you guys with me when I go on a walk, and it's like I'm just hanging out with you guys. And I wish you guys continued success and to get it to 2,500. So congratulations. Bye. And thank you for keep on using the word badness, which is the best word in the universe. Bye, guys.
Russ Crandall of thedomesticman.com is one of our favorite people, probably one of the best recipe artists in all of paleo. And a close friend of both Stacy and Sarah's and mine. And here's what he has to say.
Hey, Stacy and Sarah, congratulations on your 250th episode of the Paleo View. It's quite an incredible milestone, especially thinking about how much work goes into each and every episode between you guys and Matt and just all of that work. And, at some point you think about doing an episode and you think, yeah, maybe I don't want to do it one this week or whatever, but, it's a real testament to the fact that you guys kind of plodded on for 250 episodes, really a service to other people, getting the news out there, getting information out there. All of that's really kind of awesome. My favorite episode by far is probably the one that we did at the Paleo Effects house a few years back, where we just kind of sat around a kitchen counter and just kind of discussed some of our favorite things and some of our least favorite things about how, I hate onions and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, that was a lot of fun, and I appreciate being a little bit of your guys' huge, momentous 250th episode. So, again, congratulations, and thank you for what you guys do.
Once we got the Paleo View rolling, Stacy decided to branch out when she was training and lifting, and she ended up doing another podcast called Strong Women Radio with the United States Strongest Woman of 2015, Vivian Nguyen. And here's what she has to say.
Hi, Stacy. Congratulations on your 250th episode of the Paleo View. Remember when we had a podcast? Just kidding. Congratulations. I hope everything is amazing. And see ya.
Next up is Jennifer Robbins of Predominantly Paleo from episode 129 of the Paleo View. You can find her at predominantlypaleo.com.
Hi, this is Jennifer Robbins from Predominantly Paleo and Legit Bread Company, and I am so excited to congratulate Stacy and Sarah on their success in the Paleo View. I've been grateful to be a part of the show before, and I can't wait to see what's next. Congrats, y'all.
So while Sarah was at Paleo Effects in Austin, she had some people contribute as well. So first up is Tony Federico, the former host of Paleo Magazine Radio, and a friend of the show.
Wish everyone a happy 250th episode of the Paleo View. Congratulations, Sarah.
Next up was Daryl Edwards of Primal Play.
Hi, I'm Daryl Edwards. I'm known as the fitness explorer, founder of Primal Play, and I'm happy to announce that this is the 250th episode of the Paleo View podcast by Sarah and Stacy with an amazing British accent. Thank you very much. Is that okay?
Next is Sarah Fragoso of sarahfragoso.com and the Better Everyday podcast, who was one of the very first people to start a paleo podcast way back in the day and part of our inspiration.
I'm getting that. I gotta get that. Yeah.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sarah and Stacy, on your 250th episode. That's amazing. You guys keep putting awesome information out there for people. I'm a fan of y'all. Good job. Good work. Love you, ladies. Mwah.
Next is Kendall Kendrick of Primal Balance, who had some words to say to Sarah and Stacy.
Sarah, Stacy, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It feels like it was just yesterday, and you're already so far into this journey of helping so many people, and I'm so proud to be part of your journey and to be part of your lives. Keep doing what you're doing, sisters.
And then there is Crystal of Whole Fed Homestead. She has been working with us at Real Everything for a while now, and specifically she's been doing all of the images that accompany each episode of the Paleo View. So we really appreciate her hard work on that.
Hi, Stacy, Matt, and Sarah. It's Crystal from Whole Fed Homestead. Congratulations on your 250th episode. I wanted to tell you that I think your podcast is a gem. The way you dig into important health topics and share the information in a real-life kind of way makes the Paleo View one of the few podcasts that I never, ever miss an episode of. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a member of Team Real Everything. I really do enjoy your podcast, and I'm proud to be one of your 6 listeners. Thanks for all you do, and congratulations.
So we had some late submissions from some people. So we have a costume change. So next up is Monica, who used to work at Paleo Parents for the longest time and did all the show notes for the Paleo View for a long, long time. She was also on episode 115 of the Paleo View. And she is definitely one of our most favorite people.
Happy 250th episode! Woohoo! congratulations, Stacy and Sarah. What a phenomenal milestone to reach with the Paleo View. This is Monica here, just popping in to say hello and congratulations. I was a long-time listener of the Paleo View since it first launched, before I ever worked behind the scenes with the Paleo View. The show came out right around the same time that my first son was born. It became my go-to resource for everything about parenting and how we wanted to raise our son and what mattered to us in regards to nutrition and food. There was nothing like the Paleo View, back when we first started our world of parenting, and there really still isn't anything like it today that is so not only robust with information for parents to make decisions, but for the decisions that I make about my health and my family's health. And it's a great place to tune in and listen and learn and to feel like you're sitting at a coffee table with two of your best friends just chatting about all things in life that are important and that matter. And it's kind of felt like a mom's club, and it's been great. So congratulations again. The Paleo View is such a phenomenal show, and it has been such a great part of my life, both because the work I got to do on the back end and just being a listener and a fan for so long. I love you both tremendously. Great job, and keep rocking it out with the Paleo View.
And we have Anthony and Katrina from A Tribe Beyond Blessed, who are one of our favorite people, local bloggers here. Here's what they have to say.
Katrina and Noe
From A Tribe Beyond Blessed. We just wanted to wish you congratulations on 250 episodes of your podcast. You guys are doing great work.
Awesome. We love you and so proud of how far you've come.
Next is that paleo couple, Brent and Heather. Now, Heather has been a frequent guest on Strong Woman Radio. Stacy and Heather used to train together a lot here at the House of Gaines. Now, we were going to record with them on Monday at our Memorial Day barbecue, but unfortunately Heather decided that she wanted to have a baby on the early morning of Sunday, so we missed that. So here they are with their brand new baby Otto.
Congrats, Sarah, Stacy, and Matt on your 250th episode of the Paleo View podcast.
Brent, little Otto, and I are so excited for you and so proud of you for all the hard work you've done. We really appreciate the podcast and how it feels like we're right there with you when we're listening to it. It's been fun, especially that one time that I actually joined you for part of the podcast. That was kind of cool. And I'm really looking forward to, now that we have Otto in our world, going back and listening to the episodes specifically about children and like the different kinds of intolerances and how to recognize them, healthy sleep patterns, etc. Because we want to make sure that he gets the best care that we can give him. And we're so appreciative that you guys have put together a wealth of knowledge and insight on the Paleo View. So thanks so much, and congrats again.
And our final guest this evening is Stephanie Rupert, probably the favorite and most frequent guest on the Paleo View. She's been on episodes 6, 23, 36, 80, and 87, as well as episode 25 of Strong Woman Radio. So she is a very favorite of all of our guests, and the most requested for follow-ups as well. And she is from Paleo for Women and the Paleo Women podcast.
Hey guys, Stephanie Rupert here of Paleo for Women and the Paleo Women podcast. I am really excited to be able to celebrate Stacy and Sarah's wonderful success with the Paleo View. 250 episodes is a huge deal. I personally fell in love with both of them years and years ago, and regarded them as just the most, I don't want to say role models, friends and role models to me. Stacy, Sarah, you're incredible bosses. You've always inspired me to be more rigorous with my science, to be more uncompromising in my faith in myself, to really believe that I can help make change happen. I've been lucky enough to be on the Paleo View podcast. I'm not sure how many times, I think 3. There was, at one point, I was the most frequent guest they had. I don't know if that's still the case. And our topics varied widely, from hormone issues to, I learned a lot from Sarah about hormones and autoimmunity. And we also did this one really cool roundtable podcast where a bunch of us, I know George Bryant was involved, maybe some others, hung out and talked about body image, which was really, really great. It's been a pleasure to grow through both of you, Stacy and Sarah, and I'm really grateful and really excited. So thank you, really. Thanks a lot.
Finally are the fans. When Sarah was at Paleo FX, people would come up to her and tell her how much she loved the Paleo View. And Sarah would say, well, then let's record a video and we'll put it in our 250th episode. So here are all the people who are fans of the Paleo View.
Hi, my name's Melanie, and I love the podcast because of all the family talking and everything you guys talk about. I like to hear more about histamine intolerance, though, because I have that. Thank you. Request noted. I'm Jess, a Crunchy Hot Mama, and I love learning all kinds of new stuff, all the science behind everything, and I love all that you guys do. Thank you.
Alexandra Studstill, and I absolutely adore the Paleo View podcast. It's full of the richest information you can find anywhere on the internet or otherwise. I adore these women and their inspiration and their intelligence and their strength. Yeah, happy 250th episode.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julie Ralston, and I'm from Denver, Colorado, and it's my second year at Paleo FX. And the Paleo View is actually the reason why I am at Paleo FX. About 4 years ago, I was a vegetarian, and I decided to eat a hot dog. And I was listening to a podcast, which led me to your podcast. And so for 4 years, you guys have kind of been like my sisters, my good, wiser, little bigger sisters, older sisters that just get it and can help me out. And I've just loved every minute of it and look forward to taking my weekly hike with my dog every weekend and spending some time with you guys. Thank you.
So I'm Colleen Hetherington, and I love the podcast. It helps me get through this AIP lifestyle that I'm on, and I'm just so grateful for it every day. Thank you guys. Happy 250th episode.
I love the Paleo View because y'all guys are awesome, and I just love to get to know new things about AIP and the paleo and all the gossip.
Okay, so my favorite podcast slash article from Stacy was and Sarah. Sorry, Stacy and Sarah. Was about the carcinogenic meat article or research that came out and kind of debunking that and giving people really good tools to use to kind of keep eating healthily, right? Yeah. We just love you guys.
What do you like about the podcast?
Okay,
I'll say mine. My favorite podcast was with Isabella Wentz about your thyroid and hacking your thyroid levels. And I'm really excited to read this book, AIP.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
We love the Paleo View.
Happy 250th podcast episode.
Guys, I have no idea what you just saw because Matt won't share it with me. Sarah.
He said it has to be a surprise. So we're supposed to summarize a thing that we haven't seen yet. Let's assume that Matt is protecting us from being blubbering idiots.
That's true.
Crying.
That's true. Yesterday I cried at a commercial. What was that for? It was the Julia Roberts movie. I was a blubbering mess. What is wrong with me? I become a middle-aged woman and I just can't stop.
You have at least a few years before you're middle age. What are you talking about?
It's happened. It's happened anyway.
You start waving your cane with me?
So I guess what I'll do is just share on social media when Matt finally lets me watch/listen to this episode of the Paleo View. And I'm sure that there will be tears streaming down my face thanking everybody for their
We can, you know how they'll have YouTube videos of podcasters or movie stars watching trailers for the first time?
Yeah.
And you'll have the reaction as the new Marvel,
You keep
cinematic
setting
universe
up
trailer
these
drop.
expectations of things that I'll do, and like having Matt record while I'm watching. I notice you don't sign yourself up for these things.
Weird. I'm working on a book. That's my excuse.
Yeah.
A really, really, really huge book.
So, thank you. Thank you to everyone who contributed. Thank you for being part of our community. I hope that you felt connected to those people who chimed in. And if Sarah didn't see you at Paleo FX, I wish that we had clips of people who we'd gone on book tour with and stuff like that, because
It'd be so much fun to have had this over the years and be able to pull it all together.
To all of those people that we've, met and communicated with and, had the privilege of being a part of your life. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing the Paleo View with you next week. I'm pretty sure we'll remember it's episode 251. But after that, it's just all going to get boring.
After that, we just have to go back to, I don't know. I just want to reiterate what Stacy just said, to thank all of our listeners and now viewers for just being such amazing people, such valued members of this community, for engaging with us and the other bloggers that you follow, for paying it forward and inspiring the people in your lives, for sharing our work, for sharing this podcast, and for stopping us when you see us to let us know how much you value our time commitment to this show. You guys are the reason. I mean, we wouldn't be doing it without you. We'd just talk on the phone. We wouldn't bother actually recording it.
And we wouldn't prepare notes beforehand.
No, I wouldn't be like researching topics and diving through the scientific literature specifically for those topics.
I mean, you have done that for me a couple of times, but
7 or 8 times. But yeah, but I wouldn't be necessarily doing it with a deadline. But no, you guys are the reason why Stacy and I are still doing this. It's the fact that Stacy and I have a friendship is why we still love doing it. But you are the reason why week after week we put the time in, and Matt puts the time in to produce this for you. So thank you for being there for us, because you are our community and you are our people. So thank you again, and we'll be back next week, right?
Thanks, podcast family.
And we have to do an outro, right?
Yeah. We have to do
we have to do jazz hands. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Jazz hands. Come on, you gotta do it with me.
Jazz hands.
That's for the bloopers. We've got to have special bloopers.
Gotta have bloopers. But honestly, it's not a blooper. I did that at the end of the thing unprompted, so.
That's true.
It's disturbing.